KGA KACS members, we're here today with Senator Jimmy Higdon from Lebanon, Kentucky, and a former KGA board member who has operated a grocery store for many years down there in Lebanon. And just wanted to stop in and check in with Jimmy to find out what might be some things we're going to be looking at for the upcoming 2012 legislative session that might be on the radar of grocers and convenience store operators across the state. So Jimmy, thank you for taking time to talk to us today. And what's going to happen in 2012 with the legislature?
Well, let's talk first real quick about an issue that supposed to happen prior to September 30th, and that's when $28 million payments due from the state of Kentucky unemployment fund to the federal government for interest that we owe on close to $1 billion that the state of Kentucky has borrowed from the federal government to fund our unemployment contributions for employees in Kentucky who have been laid off. I've been assured by the governor's office that that will be dealt with. So at one time there was an issue, there was some concern that we might default on that payment, not make the $28 million payment. If that was to happen, basically what would be a result of that, employers would lose their federal credit toward the federal unemployment, and it would cost Kentucky employers about $660 million versus $28 million. So you know, that's a big deal, but that should come to pass, and the state will make sure that, like I said, the governor's office has assured me that that will be taken care of. Next year's session will be, it's our even year session, which it means it's a 60-day session. It's our budget session. Right off the bat, beginning next year, you'll probably see, hopefully early on, you'll see some legislation to deal with illegal prescription drugs in Kentucky, pill mills, and I think there's a real problem in Kentucky with prescription drugs. So hopefully you'll see a bill passed right away in the first few weeks of the General Assembly next year. Also, we have redistricting, and we have at the state level we redistrict all the state Senate districts, state representative districts, and the congressional districts. And the population in Kentucky has grown about 7%. That's good, but unfortunately Eastern Kentucky and Western Kentucky both suffered population losses. So the population growth in Kentucky was mainly in the Louisville, Lexington, Northern Kentucky area, the Golden Triangle area. So there'll be a lot of moving of representative and Senate districts and congressional districts. So that should be a lively debate early in the first few weeks of the General Assembly. Issues that grocers should be concerned about next year, of course, obviously, as we've done in the past, we'll start talking about tax reform. There's a real need in Kentucky to change our tax code. If you look at the states that have grown jobs and population in double digits, are the states like Texas, Tennessee, Florida, and Georgia who have eliminated the personal income tax, and that has really been a real boom for those states, not only with jobs created but growth in population. So Kentucky, really, we want to grow jobs here in Kentucky. We'd like to see the population of the state increase, and so there will be a lot of people looking at changing our tax structure. One of the things we've taken for granted over the years in the grocery industry in Kentucky is there's no sales tax on groceries in Kentucky. Now that's not true across the country. You know, some states do charge sales tax on groceries, and in both of the proposals that have been made to the General Assembly on doing away with the personal income tax and changing our tax structure in Kentucky, there has been sales tax. The proposal to do that is to add sales tax to groceries and services. And you know, one of the things that the grocery industry uses a lot of in Kentucky is advertising. there would be a 6% sales tax added to advertising. Groceries, it would cause the the customers' price of their groceries to go up upon when the cashier hits the total button. They would spend more it would cost them more money to buy that same basket of groceries than it cost prior to the sales tax being added. So those are the big issues. There's always those other issues that raise their ugly head. There'll probably be another attempt next year. There always is. It seems like every budget year there's an attempt to raise the tax on cigarettes. I don't think that'll fly, but that's something that everyone needs to watch. It seems like the only taxes that have been successful in passing in Frankfort are the sin taxes. So that's basically what to look for. Find out who your state senator, state representative are. Get to know them on a first name basis. Give them a call.
Well, Jimmy, I want to thank you for taking this time. And Jimmy's one of these guys, and when he goes on the floor of the House, or the Senate, he's told me that he doesn't go in with a D or an R. He goes in for the people. And I tell you, for the grocers of the state, he has always been a part of the industry and always served the industry. So thank you so much for your time.
Well, I love what I do, and the grocery, my 40-some years in the grocery business has trained me well to be a Kentucky State Senator. They have a lot in common, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Jimmy.